This week on Deep Space Pride, we talk about our top moments in 2023 and catch up on the news of the last couple of months. It's been a while since we've recorded, so thanks for joining us. Johnson.
Hey, Mike. How's it
How are
going?
you?
I'm doing okay. It's been a while. How have you
Been
been?
a while.
I mean, it's been a while since we recorded. We've seen each other since the last time we recorded.
Yes.
It's been a while since our listeners have caught up with us. So
Right, exactly.
Yes.
It's been a while since we've been on here talking about Star Trek exclusively.
I know it's been a while. It's been a minute.
So, yeah. But also it's the end of the year, so we wanted to get in one last podcast in 2023 before 2024. I don't know what else to say.
So, the year is over.
Yes, it is.
How are you feeling about that?
I'm all right. Yeah, I feel like it was a full year. And I know it was a full year, but it was a very full year for me.
Yes. Yeah.
So, how are you feeling about it?
Well, I think it's always the post-Christmas. It's nice that there's some time off, but still, there's always this weird lull between Christmas and New Year's, and then beginning of January is always very blah. There's not as much to look forward to. The holidays aren't around the corner anymore, so it's like, now what? And then it's going to be my birthday.
We have your birthday at the beginning of the year, so
there's that, I suppose. But it always feels almost like anticlimactic because you have all this build up for the holidays and such and New Year's, and then having a birthday around the holidays is always a little strange, I think, for most people. Like, because I know some people that are like, December 24th, and, oh my God, I feel bad for you.
Yes.
And beginning of January, of course, it's also a weird time because, again, you have all this hype, and now, womp womp, is your birthday. Cool.
Right.
So
yeah, you basically have 60 days at the end of the year where you go from Halloween to New Year's.
Right. It's nonstop.
It's nonstop.
It's continuous.
Yeah. And by the end of it, you're both exhausted, and then you got the long month of January ahead of you. And
right.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're midwinter, so you're also looking at that.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And usually it's very bitterly cold around my birthday. I mean, it's usually really cold, or I'm very sick. It tends to be one or the other.
Oh, wow.
Last year I was very ill. I woke up. I don't know if you remember, on New Year's Eve I woke up and I had pink eye. It was terrible. I couldn't see anyone.
Yes,
it was awful.
Yeah.
And I got a sinus infection. It was So I feel fine. The year's over. 2023 is over. 2024. I'm not looking forward to 2024 at all.
Oh,
I'm not looking forward. It's the election cycle, Mike. I cannot.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I mean, no, I don't read the headlines.
Primaries begin in January. It's all downhill from there. So
yeah, no,
I'm not looking forward to it whatsoever.
I mean, I've taken a pretty. I don't participate in a lot of news reading anyway, so
it's impossible to avoid. At some point, it's impossible to avoid. You know what I mean?
But I don't ingest it on a daily basis, or even necessarily, on every couple of. It's just I don't ingest it because I just don't. One, my life is too busy, and I've got a bunch of other things to worry about, and then
sure,
I mean, I'll do what I can, and hope that we come out of this okay.
That we survive.
I'm going to survive. It's just a matter of how many people I need to kill. That's all.
Okay. All right. Great.
So yes.
All right.
No, I wasn't even thinking of 20. You're right. I'm not excited about that piece, but I've got a lot happening in 2024. So
That's true. You do have a lot happening and a lot to look forward to, which is good.
yeah. So that's why I'm trying not to focus on that piece of the news cycle per se. So,
and you're going to be escaping to South Africa for 3 months?
Yes, definitely.
3 months is a long time. That's a long period of time.
Yeah, but I mean, it's pretty much like a semester abroad, right? It's not, which I never did in college. So, a semester abroad is, about
that's
3
one way
months.
to look at it. In my mind, that's a whole quarter. It's a whole fiscal. Oh my
goodness. A whole quarter. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm trying not to think about the state of the world too much. I mean, I know it's not good, and I know there are a lot of things happening, and I am peripherally aware of the general situation, but I do not focus on it because I have too much to think about.
I think I have two. I am a little. I didn't used to be this way. I feel that since 2016, I have been super plugged in, for better or for worse. I listen to multiple news podcasts, politics podcasts.
No.
Yeah,
God,
I am a little hyper aware, unfortunately. So, for better or for worse, I do think it's good to be aware and to be educated, but at the same time, it might be a little too much. So,
yeah, I mean, for a lot of people, it's just not mentally healthy. So, yeah, so that's enough about what we are looking forward to in 2024. But let's take a look back on this year in Star Trek. But first, I guess we should just touch upon a few news items that have come up over the last couple of months since we've recorded. Sure. And we
has it really been 2 months?
I think I want to say it's been October since we've.
Oh wow!
Maybe we did record in November. I don't remember, but
okay, it's a long time.
But here are the big things, and we can just kind of touch on them. Number one, before we were recording, we just talked about this. We both were watching Prodigy on Netflix. Yes. So that's a nice development, and tying into that, season 2 wrapped. So, and maybe I don't understand how. Does this mean that they're like it's in the can and ready to go?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's ready. It's they finished post production, so they are ready to premiere it whenever Netflix wants to, I suppose. Well, so we don't have a date yet.
Well, this gap between now and April would be a great time to do this. The real question is, do you think they're going to drop it all at once, or are they going to drop it episodically like they do some series? What do you think?
I think they're going to drop it in 2 chunks like they do with most of their non-reality shows. I think the reality shows are the only ones that are episodic nowadays or weekly. But most of their, like The Crown and Bridgerton, I mean, those are also their like their flagships. I don't know, but they've been splitting those up into 2 chunks.
They did that with The Witcher too.
Yes, they did. But I don't think this. I don't know if this is considered. This would not be a flagship for them. But it's so many episodes that I think it makes sense to just do 10 and 10.
Yeah, or even 4 drops of 5. Depending on like the arcs, the arcs that they did in the first part of launching it.
They could do that.
Who knows? Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll have some Prodigy to talk about in early 2024.
Yeah, hopefully. But that was definitely a big news item for 2023 that got saved.
Yeah.
We weren't sure what was going to happen for a while. It was a few months.
It was a few months.
They were doing the tours. There were these fan petitions going on.
Yeah.
There was a lot happening to save it. So I think it was all a pleasant surprise when Netflix confirmed that they would be releasing it.
Right? Yeah. No, it was a huge cheer, I think, from around the planet for
And
this
Netflix,
great.
and Netflix is a good platform for it because there's so much kids content. So, I mean, what kids are subscribing to Paramount Plus? Give me a break here.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. Even now, speaking of that, I'm even thinking I've done the annual plan the last couple of years. But even now, I'm actually thinking about just doing it monthly for however long I need to, and then
There's not
stopping
much
it, and
else
then
happening. I don't. Do you even watch anything else? The only other show I watch on Paramount Plus might be Halo. I think that's the only other one.
yeah. No, I only watched like half the first season, like 4 or 5 episodes of Halo.
It was okay. It's all right.
And then I started watching Frasier. There's like something like brainless to watch, and then I found out he's a Trump supporter, and
Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah,
that's over.
So I'm like, oh well, F that then. So good news for Prodigy. Season 2 wraps, and the Hageman brothers have said that they have plans for more seasons.
I think I read that they have plans for 7 seasons. I was like,
oh wow,
I don't know. Wow. That's a big ask. I don't know if they're gonna get 7 seasons.
Yeah,
you never know, but
yeah. I mean, The Crown went 6. Witcher is going 4. What else? There aren't a lot of series that are.
It just loses steam. Most series lose steam nowadays. It's hard to sustain that.
Yeah, that's true. Well, in other news, and this is I don't know. I just wrote down everything that kind of came to mind. Right. So Section 31 is moving ahead now with the strike over.
Finally,
it's going into pre-production, and I believe Michelle Yeoh said that they're going to start filming in March. So,
yes, that's
exciting. I'm interested to see what comes out of this. I mean, I love Michelle Yeoh, so I'm excited about that. I'm wondering what century she's going to end up in and what characters we're going to see. And,
right. I hope it's not bad. I don't know.
I mean, it's going to be a 2-hour movie. I don't think she would put her name on anything that's bad. I feel like,
she was in that Witcher prequel, remember? Witcher Origins or something? Did you watch that?
I never watched that. No, I never watched that.
It wasn't that good. It was ensemble. Like, she was a major character, but it wasn't that great. Oh. I mean, I'm sure they threw money at her, so whatever.
Right? Yeah. Sure.
But,
I'm anxious to see what they do with it. I mean, Section 31 has kind of been quiet, or this whole idea of the black badges have never really come up again. We haven't even heard of that in Strange New Worlds. So, it's interesting. We didn't even, nothing in Picard. So, it'll be interesting to see what century she landed in, and what they're going to do with this. Whether it's a potential spinoff, or whether it's going to be, just a one-off.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how much I'm looking forward to it. It's Michelle Yeoh, so I'm like, of course I will watch it. And it's Star Trek, so of course I'll watch it. But am I really like salivating for a Section 31 movie? Not really. I mean, it's fine. It's there. It will exist, which is
I think
great.
it was more interesting as a series that was going to come out, in between seasons of Discovery. I thought that was going to be, and I thought I would bring back, I can picture him, but I can't think of him, Bach, what's
the actor's name? Something Latif or something?
Shazad Latif.
Latif.
Yes.
I only remember Book, or however you say his name.
I mean,
I don't remember Ash Tyler. Is this correct?
Ash Tyler. There we go. Good job. See, there we go.
I'm so bad with names, and it's been a while.
Yeah. Right.
Season 2 Discovery.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Latif. There we go.
Yeah. There we go.
Back. So
we get that. Let's see. Strange New Worlds season 3 is in production now in Toronto.
Finally.
So finally.
Do you want to take bets as to when it's going to premiere?
No. I mean, I don't
I
think
if we're lucky, end of 2024.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, when have we been lucky with Star Trek? So, lately, it's just been it's been a very up and down type roller coaster. So and all right, so I'm excited about that. The actors seem pretty psyched about that. The writers, everybody. But then this is another news item which I didn't put in the list and didn't say up front. But the other thing is that Paramount is in talks for mergers. So which I think is pretty premature. But the YouTube, anything to generate, ad revenue or like clicks and all this stuff is happening with this stuff. I think it's really early days for, and for this to slip out. I think it's a little, usually merger talks are supposed to be very hush hush.
It also takes forever. You're right. These usually needs to go through a ton of approvals and governmental regulation.
Yeah.
Yada, yada, yada.
Plus the boards and the stockholders and all these things. So
yeah.
There
was there's been talks about the merger. There's some talks about Paramount basically getting their IP sold off. There's that too. Basically getting disassembled. Because it's not really they're just not the most profitable company. And Paramount Plus is not necessarily bringing all their revenue in. So
right. I mean, it's been a shit show run company for a while now. So
so it's kind of, I would say the future is somewhat uncertain for Paramount, and I think subsequently for all their intellectual properties as well. It's like, what's going to happen?
One can say that Star Trek would be all right, though. I think at some, I think that wherever it lands, although I can't imagine them completely letting go of all of their Star Trek IP, but who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I don't think it'd be terrible, actually, if someone else took it on. If, say like a Disney or an Apple or whatever was to buy the Star Trek IP. I don't think that would be a terrible thing. But
no, I think that might be a good business bet for one of the larger companies to
know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Essentially.
That have marketing departments and promotional departments and
essentially
things that show that they're together. So, and finally, Discovery Season 4 is set to start in April, or to start, not to start,
to premiere.
To premiere, yeah. Thank you. God, thinking is hard right now.
Well, I'll tell you, this period between Christmas and New Year's is also like, I had some work to do today. I am on PTO technically, but I was like, sure, I'll just move a few things along. It took me 40 minutes to write a 2-paragraph email. It took so long.
Oh, wow.
I was just multitasking. I was distracted. I didn't want to. I think primarily you don't want to.
You don't want to. That's the thing.
I did not want to. So because of the lack of wanting, it took much longer.
Yes.
So, yeah. Anyway.
No, that's how my brain has been working today. Okay. I mean, I did get some things done, which is good. I don't know. I'm sort of tempted to just take PTO for the next 2 days, but
are you working technically?
Yeah, technically, I'm one of I'm the only one, I think. So
I am shocked and appalled. You work for a church. Why do you not have the time off?
Those are all very good questions, of which we're not going to talk about here on this podcast.
Oh my God. I'm actually very shocked.
Oh, yeah. No, most of the staff have taken time off, but it's to use time. It's not like free time. So, yes. So, and I'm trying to save up time and use it more judiciously, but also save it up for 2024.
Sure.
So yeah, I have a few things I can do. So, but it's no one's bothering me. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
Got it.
So, yes, I did. It's not. I took a nap this afternoon and watched Prodigy, and
Right.
so, considering why, because we drove back from Massachusetts yesterday,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and 3 hours into the trip, which was literally like it was a 5-hour trip, and the first 3/4 of the distance was covered in that 3 hours, and the last quarter of the distance was the additional 2 hours, and I was just getting sleepy. It was dark, and I had to have a coffee, and so I was up until 2 in the morning.
Oh no!
I knew that was going to happen, but there was not anything I could do about it because I needed the stimulation while driving. So.
Right. I would totally fall asleep behind the wheel. It would just happen.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
well, it's a good thing you don't have a driver's license, so we don't have to worry about this.
That would be a menace. It would be terrible.
You would be. I mean, you're a menace in general, but yes, in a car, you would be.
When I'm walking on a street that is just straight, has no bumps, surface, I'm like tripping over myself. So, yeah. It's terrible.
So anyway, getting back to Discovery, they showed a clip. Again, it was of Michael Burnham and Booker.
I think they showed
Book, not Booker.
Clips, right?
Book. I
saw
on the planet.
I only saw the one clip, which was her on that ship, and then her riding it at warp. And I know they released another one, but I'll be honest, I didn't even bother watching it.
Oh, okay. So that was the one they released a long time ago, the one you're talking about.
Right. I know.
So they released one.
They released another one, but
she went to some South American Comic-Con.
Brazil.
Oh, thank you.
It was like Brazil Comic-Con.
Oh, there you go. Mm-hmm. Great. I'm glad. See, together we're like a whole brain right now. This is great.
We can make things happen.
Yeah. So they showed this clip of her and Book on a planet with these creatures. So, yes, that's all I really can describe. They're either camouflaged or warping themselves in short little hops. I don't remember what was happening, but it was another Michael Burnham exclusive clip. With her husband, and no other personnel from.
Wait, are they married?
This ship. Oh, I don't know. No, sorry. Sorry. No, they're probably not married.
They're not married. They're together.
I mean, that would be they're not married.
There was a wedding on Discovery. So.
There was no wedding on Discovery. Sorry, her partner. Her partner.
No, I was like, did I miss something?
Which is not really a member of the crew. It's it's sort of like, I don't know.
He's a consultant.
Yes, he's a consultant. Yes.
Yeah.
Who happens to be her partner.
Right.
Which seems to be a huge conflict of interest. But anyway.
I mean, I don't know.
And there are no other crew that could possibly go down to the planet with her.
One of my least smallest concerns about Discovery, like if you want me to get on my soapbox, I can, but I'm not sure we want to go there right now.
No, we don't want to go there. We'll have plenty of time probably to complain about it later. So that's coming back in April. So for their fifth and final season. So there's the news.
Yeah, I think you pretty much captured all the big things that we missed. I'm trying to think. Yeah. I'm speaking slowly because I'm like, did we have anything else happen?
I glanced through the recent news. I didn't see anything. I mean, obviously, we had months and months of nothing because of the strike,
right?
And so, by the time the strike was over, it was fall, and life was.
One thing I want to talk about. Have you been keeping up with the Delta Flyers podcast?
Oh, a little bit. I don't. Yeah, so I'm reaching the point where either I need to listen to it on 1.5 speed, or I need to pick and choose which episodes I'm going to listen to.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's just too long, and like they literally go through the show
Right.
scene by scene.
Right.
So
But that's what I like
that's a
about
lot.
it. I like it.
Okay,
I like
good.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The most recent episode was over 2 hours with Armin. I do think it's smart because they're basically having Terry and Armin trade off.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's actually smart because the first episode, which you cover Emissary, which is a lot, there were moments when I was like, okay, there's too many people on this podcast. It was like,
I didn't think so because Terry, as you learn, and I'm enjoying it too. Other than the fact that they need a Star Trek expert on there to kind of fill in like the information that we as fans.
It's kind of the charm because sometimes you can, even during Voyager, they were saying things I was like, this is not correct.
Oh, well, I never really listened very much to them talking about Voyager because we all know that Voyager is not my favorite.
Sure, fair
iteration of this show that we love.
Yeah. But, you listen to a podcast like ours if you want the in-depth Star Trek knowledge, kind of sometimes, though we also forget character names, whatever. Or you can read Memory Alpha. I think what's interesting about the Delta Flyers podcast, and I think the reason why I brought it up is because they couldn't talk about Star Trek during the strike. So they did a whole season, a quote unquote season, which was they did interviews, and I was so excited once they finally premiered their DS9 rewatch, and I'm really liking it. And I really want to rewatch all DS9, actually, because they're talking about these episodes, and I vaguely remember season one. Season one was good, but not great, and I really now have this longing to go back and watch all of it again because they do really bring a lot of interesting insight because obviously Robert and Garrett have not watched DS9 before. So this
Robbie is a director too, so he looks at it from the director's point of view.
Right. And Garrett brings good insight too. Like he's an actor, but he'll talk about stuff from the lot, like things like that. I'm like, oh, that's fascinating. Armin has a lot of great insight. He just knows a lot about the production of it all, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
And Terry's just fantastic, of course. I like her. But it's great. I think a lot of it is about their personalities and their banter. Honestly, a lot of it's their banter. And they're actually really all very funny. So, I don't know. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, I do enjoy them. I do get annoyed with them sometimes because it's like sometimes it's like one-upmanship between the two of them, between Robbie and Garrett. They're like
sometimes
like it's like that sometimes, and I like Garrett. Don't get me wrong, but it's sometimes what I've noticed is that like Garrett likes to jump in because he's got something to say. He's like that kid that's like not going to be patient and wait till you finish because he's got something to say. It's right. So that gets on my nerves a little bit, like, but I understand it's not like they're recording in person; they're doing it over Zoom, or whatever.
Yes.
So
sometimes you have to talk over people, like I'm doing right now, just to get something in.
Yes, exactly. So I do understand that, but like it's just one of those things that I thought, like, after God, how many episodes that they've done, that they'd be a little bit more like balanced with like, I know when Robbie stops to talk, or I know when Garrett stops to talk, that I can talk, and like just a little more in sync with one another.
Oh, okay. So it's bother me, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But I love Terry. Terry doesn't know a lot about the show.
She does not.
And it's funny because I did listen to the Emissary version podcast episode, and Armin was just bringing a lot of, like, he was the first actor to be cast, so he got to see a lot of the a lot of the stuff come in. Terry was last, so it's very interesting. So no, that was very interesting. Yeah, it just I can't sit through an hour of them going through piece by piece of episodes unless I was watching it with them, which so side note, like I did so Will and Grace they have a new podcast with Eric McCormick and Sean Hayes they're doing the same thing. They're going through their own show.
I've never seen Will and Grace, by the way. I'm a bad gay.
Oh my gosh!
I know. What the fuck?
Oh my word! So I love watching the episodes before they talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we're talking about a 20-minute comedy, episode, so it's not
right.
It's not quite. They sort of do go through the episode piece by piece or scene by scene,
right?
But a 40-minute Star Trek episode when they're like really like going into like the nitty gritty, I'm like, no, yeah, it's just a lot. It's a lot. So I do like those type of episodes, but I just don't think I can commit to it all the time.
Okay, yeah, I'm listening to it while I'm like working out or like if I'm like going somewhere. So
I kind of prefer audiobooks. I mean, I've listened to over 100 audiobooks in 2023. So
okay, I hate audiobooks.
I know you do.
Yeah, well, I don't read. I just listen to podcasts.
Right. So yeah. So we just have different things that we like. So,
right.
But I do, I was excited about them doing the episode, the episode watch through of it. But, I'm
excited for them to get into the good stuff. Like, season 2.
So in like 2 years or whatever.
Right. Well, it's the. I mean,
there's one-offs where they're really, outstanding episodes. Yes.
Yeah. So they covered all of Voyager in 3.5 years because they record literally weekly. Yeah.
Yes. It was also COVID, so they sort of did have that. The time to do it.
Right. But they kept
just like we had. Just like we had a lot of time on our hands during COVID, so we recorded every week.
Sure. They kept it up every week, but they also have patrons and things like that. So
I know. I was like, it's crazy. They have people who pay like hundreds of dollars a month for their podcast.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a revenue source for them.
No, absolutely. No, I think they maybe even on that like the Emissary episode. They like read off like a bunch of names, and I looked at what level those are all. Like those are like $250 a month.
Yeah.
Patrons, $250 a month.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I was like, oh my gosh. So I'm happy for them that they can make the extra money. Speaking of which, do you also watch/listen to the Shuttlepod show?
No, what's that? Podcast?
That's the Dominic Keating and why can't I think of his name? I can see him. Oh my gosh.
Which one?
Trip Tucker, who plays Trip Tucker.
I don't remember.
Man.
Unfortunately, that's what we said.
I'm really sorry. We
need such an expert on this podcast.
We do, yes, we do.
Back with names, I don't remember his name.
Someone who does names, yes. Connor Trenier.
Thank you. Yes.
Oh my gosh. And I did not look that up. That came from my brain. I did not go anywhere to get that.
Yeah, I mean, if you said it, I would have recognized it. If you said all the names, I would be able to match them to the characters.
So actually Dom just posted something that he's stepping away from the show in 2024.
What are they doing? Are they rewatching all of Enterprise?
No, so they have a ton of guests. You should take a look and see. They've done some really interesting interviews. I mean, they do some they do some watches with patrons and things like that, and I mean, there's some really good stuff in there, and I have to say that Dominic is like a researcher. Like we just jump on here and like start chatting away about shit.
I know.
And he has like done all the homework. So let's just say so they did an interview with Jonathan Frakes, Terry McTallis, all these people.
Oh wow.
They went like deep and like got into their like history and whatnot. So
cool.
Sort of like, how Gates did her episodes. Like she's really well researched. So they do a bunch of different types of episodes. But I guess he's stepping away from the show, and in his post, he really didn't say why, but
sad.
Yeah, I mean, it does. You do.
Life gets in the way sometimes. Who knows?
Yeah, life does get in the way sometimes. So yeah. So, well, we've chatted now for a good half an hour about a bunch of different things or so. Why don't we talk about 2023? So, our homework assignment, or I mean, I did tell you, you just did your homework literally as you walked into class. Great job, you. Was to come up with the top 3 moments for you in Star Trek for 2023.
Okay, so are we going one at a time?
Let's just do one at a time.
One at a time. All right, you go first, Mike.
Well, I have to say, all right, so my number 1, and I just rewatched it, is Star Trek Picard's episode 9, Vox.
Okay.
Where, ultimately we get to the last 5 minutes of the show, which is every kid who grew up on Next Generation, which is both of us. Right. It's just amazing. Obviously seeing the Enterprise D back in action. So, but it's also a great episode. Todd Stashwick dies, and by this point you actually kind of like him. So you leave Raffi and Seven on the ship, on the Titan, and it's just I think it's also it's the episode where like it all it's Federation Day, so you see the Enterprise F in its last voyage. You see Admiral Shelby. You see all the things. So that was probably the greatest episode. I mean, 10 is excellent too. I mean, was it the Next Generation or the I forget what they call it.
Last Generation?
The Last Generation. For by far that has to be my number 1 thing for Star Trek this year is overall season 3 is really the winner for me, but if we had to pick an episode or something that I would go and watch, which I just watched last week when I was sleeping on the couch because Dennis had the flu, that would be my number 1 choice for 2023. Yeah. How about you?
I kind of cheated. I said Picard season 3. Like I did pick one episode.
You did, yeah.
No, I mean, okay. So once you said Vox, I did like it. I definitely the reveal of the Enterprise D was a moment, and I really enjoyed it. But I think I have nitpicks about basically each episode and some of the choices that they made.
Sure.
For example, one of my biggest issues with episode 9 is that they took so long to finally reveal that it was the Borg. I'm like, my God. And then the changes were kind of just thrown to the side, and we spent most of the time, that's a narrative issue. This is narrative structure issue. So if I had to I have nitpicks basically about each episode, which is why I think, but I would say one of the top moments overall was probably, the review of the Enterprise D in the museum. But I would say season 3 as a whole, if I had to kind of take it as, in totality, I would say it's probably one of the biggest highlights of the year. So
I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all.
I would say, yes, I would say episode 9, episode 10, some of the early episodes, they were good too. It dragged in the middle a little bit, but overall, I think that it was a very strong season that really lived up to the hype, thankfully. I was like, God, and you know me, I really didn't love season 1 and 2. I thought that they had their moments, but overall, they were so disappointing. I was like, my God. So I think season 3 for me made the Picard revival worth it. I feel that this is really what we should have gotten in the beginning, but at the end of the day, you can't get everything that you want. It's okay. But yes, it made the whole effort, the whole journey worth it. So,
right.
So yes,
I think I agree. Highlight. Getting season 3 though, we needed to have season 1 and 2 only because actually we didn't need it maybe, but Patrick Stewart needed it.
Patrick Stewart needed it.
He needed season 1 and 2 to kind of realize
he needed
what
to go on his journey.
Really, he needed to complete his journey. He also needed to understand that while he was doing this new thing, really what brings the adulation of all of the Star Trek fans who grew up on Next Generation and those who didn't grow up on it but love it, is what happened in season 3. And I think that was a lesson that he needed to learn, and I'm glad that we got the opportunity. We gave him the opportunity because we got season 3. We also got an incredible, showrunner in Terry Matalas. So, which we couldn't have gotten. He wasn't available in season 2. He was wrapping up his 13 Monkeys show, I think.
Was that why he wasn't? I thought he was working. No, I think 12 Monkeys wrapped up a while ago.
12 Monkeys.
I think 12 Monkeys. I think season 2 he started working on, but then they basically had him go over to season 3 to start pre-production, to start planning for it.
You should listen to the Shuttlepod show, and as he talks through that, I think
that's what I thought.
I really think he was wrapping up something. And wasn't available for.
Yeah, 12 Monkeys.
I think season 4 might have been more recent. But anyway, but we got Terry Matalas, who is an excellent showrunner too. So you don't need to research it right now. It's okay.
No, now I need to know. No, you might be right. And you know what? I watched like half of 12 Monkeys season 1, and it was dark and depressing. And I don't usually mind it, but after a while, I was like, I'm tired of it. It wrapped in 2018. 12 Monkeys. So I don't know.
Well, it might have wrapped. I mean, did it wrap or did it? Did that? Anyway,
the
whatever.
Finale aired July 6, 2018. So
really? Oh,
so it was a while ago. Yeah.
Huh. So maybe it was something else then he was working on. I honestly
don't know what else he was
but anyway, we got Terry Matalas out of it. So yeah, I agree. Season 3 was definitely
made it worth it.
Yeah, it had the right showrunner, and I think it was we had to go through that whole process, right? So
right.
So what's your number 2 for? Are you going to cheat again?
We're doing like a snake poll kind of style. Okay, so my number 2 was Those Old Scientists.
Oh, that's mine too.
Okay. I mean, like, whatever. Those Old Scientists was my favorite episode from season 2 of Stranger Worlds. I feel it was like one of those episodes where everything fell into place. I think the cast fell into place, director, just everything about it just like made sense and it just resonated. It's like, I think one of those rare moments when all the planets are kind of aligned and everything just makes sense. Literally like one of the best episodes of Star Trek like ever, in my mind. It was funny, it was heartfelt, it progressed the plot, it just did everything, and it was so well done, and you can tell the cast is having a great time. It just, I don't know, everything just worked. And it's great on rewatch. I don't even know what to talk, we've talked about it extensively as well, so we don't need to rehash all of it, but literally like one of the most enjoyable episodes of Star Trek I've ever seen. So it was so good. It was so good.
I agree. Since you made that your number 2, I'm just gonna go further down the line. So I was surprised at how much on second viewing I ended up liking Subspace Rhapsody. And
then,
I
watched it a couple of times too.
On second run, I really started to enjoy it, and then it's actually probably one of my top 5 played soundtracks on my.
Oh my god! Really?
Oh yeah, I just I love the acapella opening. I love the underlying music. I have my fit. It's just, and I'm not that person. We've talked about this before. We are not Broadway gays.
No.
So
we're not. We're very not.
But this episode grew on me and grew on me and grew on me. So we had a really super ending to the season. I felt like between those old scientists, I don't even remember what episode 8 was about.
Episode 8 was,
9
I think, the war episode.
the war episode
It was the
where he lost his memory.
No, it's when Nurse Chapel and Mbenga kind of
That was a good episode.
Goes back to the Klingon War.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was it.
I remember it was like is whiplash from those old scientists to I don't know the name of the war episode, just Space Rhapsody
musical. Then we went to
it was like very extreme, which I think makes that's why it works as a show. You can do that, but
I want to say that whole second, like that whole 4 episode block was really good. I mean, hegemony, or however you want to say that freaking word,
hegemony. That's how I say it.
It was still an excellent season cliffhanger, and got a lot of questions about what's coming next. And
I still think everyone's going to be fine. I feel they're all going to be okay.
Gosh, I hope so. But I think this is I am enjoying and not enjoying being in this moment where you don't know. You just don't know.
It's like in stasis. It's like it's a very Schrodinger's cat situation. It's both alive and dead at the same time.
Yes, exactly, yes. Totally that. And it's also like you had 3 months of best of both worlds. And now we have like 2 years of the best of both worlds, part 1 and part 2. So, So I will say all of those episodes, but definitely kicked off with season 7 and those old scientists.
Oh God!
So
popular.
Seeing Tawny Newsome and Jack Quaid in live action playing their characters that we love.
Good. They're so good.
They are so good.
Oh my God. I love just their on-screen chemistry, like the real on-screen chemistry, not just the cartoon version. And they just did such a good job embodying their characters. I don't know. It was really fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. So
Strange New Worlds was a knockout. Actually, between season 3 of So here's the other thing about Picard season 3 is the first season of Star Trek where I've actually wanted. I have not yet gone out and bought the DVDs, the Blu-rays of it, just because I love it that much.
Oh wow! I don't do physical media anymore.
I don't really either, but this is one of those things where I was like, that's how much I love that. But I would also throw season 2 of Strange New Worlds, even though first couple of episodes. I mean, the second episode was the real one with the courtroom, but Nuna.
I thought the first half had its moments. I love the courtroom episode.
The circle was kind of,
the circle was kind of okay. I like the Spock one.
That was human. Yeah,
it kind of rehashed old territory, but it was still very enjoyable.
Yeah.
So not everyone loved it for some reason. Because it was kind of a rehash of like the body swap one.
Oh, okay.
But it's kind of season 1. But it's I still liked it. Basically, whenever we can like fuck with Spock, I'm like, yes, I'm there for it.
Yes.
So,
all right. Should we do number 3?
Yes. Well, since we're doing kind of like snake pole style, do you wanna go?
Sure. I mean, so I'm going to pull a Johnson for this part. I'm going to say Lower Decks season 4 was by far really great.
My number 3 was Lower Decks finale. The last 2 episodes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But why don't you continue?
Well, no, I just thought, so the feeling that season 4 gave me was the same feeling that I got with season 1. And I loved that we had progressed the characters to Lieutenant JGs and that there was some development. We're not in the perpetual Ensign Harry Kim moments here.
Right. Yes.
That, we did eventually uncover Mariner's issue, although that was a little protracted. I know you don't like that piece of it, but overall, like as a season, so I forget. Season 3 I kind of struggled with, I want to say, or is it season 2? I think it was season 3. Like
I think season 3.
Season 3 I struggled with, and I was like, it just wasn't. It was felt more of the same of like seasons 1 and 2. It did get better, but in season 3 towards the end, I think. But for an overall season of Lower Decks, this one brought me back to the first season feeling of this is fresh, this is new, this is fun, this is just great Star Trek. And to anyone who's not an animated person, like someone who watches animated shows, which there are people out there who, you know, who will not watch like the musical episode of Strange New Worlds. I sort of understand that, but not watching it doesn't make sense to me. But but also not watching animated Star Trek because it's animated and therefore can't be real Star Trek is absolute bullshit.
Like Prodigy, oh my god, one of the best first seasons.
Yes,
Star Trek. Yeah,
we had a lot of commentary on Prodigy.
So good.
I mean, So overall, I would say season 4, all, you know, and I'm starting to enjoy, like, I pointed out to you, like, I'm starting to enjoy, like, even things like the opening credits, like the probe was in the opening credits, which you didn't even notice until I pointed out to you, like, halfway through the season.
Oh my gosh.
So So season 4 just was great all around. I mean, Mike McMahon just is a genius.
I know.
Just a genius.
Going beyond season 5.
I hope so too.
I really hope so. I really don't. Yeah, I hope we don't need like another save the show campaign.
Oh gosh, I hope not.
That'd be so annoying.
Yeah. So, what was your number 3? Was it?
Well, my number 3 was the finale, the last 2 episodes of season 4 of Lower Decks, and I think that yes, I agree with you that overall the season was good. My issue with season 4 was this bigger story that was happening, but it kind of started dragging a little bit. It was just like, you know, not much is being added to the story each week. And we were kind of being told like, oh, there's a little bit of serialization. But I was like, all right, it's just the same thing over and over again, basically until the very end. And honestly, I think everything just came together and crystallized in episodes 9 and 10 of season 4. The Nick Locarno thing, I was just like, what the fuck? But in a good way. I was like, what the fuck? Like, it was so great how Mike McMahon brought in that character, and I'm sure that Robert Downey Jr. had a great time, like, reviving that character. I'm sure that Robert Downey Jr., not in like a million years, would have thought that that character of all characters would have gotten any sort of revival. So, right. And, you know, like, I think Mike McMahon, he did say like no one's getting, because people were guessing what it was, and he was like, no one's close.
Yeah,
and it's just such a deep cut, but at the same time it makes so much sense for the show, because it really did bring it back to the whole genesis of how this whole Lower Decks thing began in TNG, and, you know, the whole catalyst for that was because of what happened in the first duty, then led to Ensign Cito going on her journey, which then we find out, you know, it all just like, it's very meta in some ways, and then also kind of just makes sense for the show. So I thought it was just like really beautifully crafted as a story, but then also just the random out of left field, like, resurrection of Nick Locarno, I always thought was fantastic. And then at least you and I liked like the whole thing, excuse me, the whole basically remaking of the Wrath of Khan in the finale. Not everyone loved that, actually. Some people thought it was too on the nose, but I really liked it. I did too. I thought it was really well done. And yeah, there was just so many things that I think just worked really well.
I mean, we get to see Captain Boimler, which was kind of cool.
That was cool. Yeah.
That was one of my happier moments of that.
Yeah, and then they brought in just like random threads from the season, like when Rutherford and Livik, they had to like resolve.
Oh yeah,
like, being Mark Twain. Like, it was like so random, but it just worked. You know, just like random things, just, you know, these through lines that they pulled back in. I thought was just really spectacular. And Tendi's journey, like even that, like the whole thing with Orions, that was just touched on early in the season, but then that was brought back in the finale as well. There was just like a lot of things about it that I thought were just really well done, and just from a pure storytelling standpoint, really well constructed. So I really enjoyed that two-parter.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. So
yeah, I was just thinking that we really had a pretty awesome 2023 when it comes to Star Trek.
Yeah, I mean, we did
30 solid episodes of.
Was Discovery 2023?
Oh, I wasn't counting Discovery.
Wait, it was.
Just like Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks. There's 30 episodes right there of really, really good Star Trek. So I don't think we're going to get that anytime in the future. So I think that 2023 is going to go down as one of the best.
Oh my god! Discovery was 2020 March of 2022. Oh my god! Yeah. Time means nothing. I was like, wait, was Discovery early this year? It was not. It was early last year.
Yeah. So So wow. I think we're gonna look back at 2023 and be like, that was like the golden year of Star Trek. And I think we'll have pockets of that in the future, but I don't think we'll have a block like that.
Yeah.
Of that much new Star Trek that was. I mean, good.
Picard is done, so no more chances for Picard, right?
Although he is, Patrick Stewart is trying to vie for one more Next Generation movie.
I don't want to do it. Like I'm kind of like, let's just end it on a high note.
Yeah, I mean, my hope would be that we go to Star Trek Legacy, which would be really great.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, I think we have some cameos for Legacy. I think that would be great, but we don't need another like Picard season 3.5. Like I don't need that.
No, I think it went on a really nice high note. So yeah. All right. Well, there's our top moments of 2023. Let's jump ahead and look ahead to 2024, which right now does not look all that exciting yet.
I know. It's very, I just don't, based on the scheduling and everything, it just might look very sparse. I think that's the biggest issue.
Well, we know we'll get Star Trek Discovery finale, and we will get Lower Decks.
Yes.
So we'll get Lower Decks season 5.
I'm looking forward to Discovery season 5, Mike.
Say that again.
How much are you looking forward to Discovery season 5?
I will say this. I wish I was looking forward to Discovery more. I'm disappointed that I am not looking forward to it more. And I love the ensemble. And I think that that's my main challenge with Discovery I love the actors and the characters that they've created. And I just wish it was more of an ensemble show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that I really thought about this. I was like, when they announced that, when they started announcing some Discovery stuff, I was like, I really want to be excited about Discovery. And I'm not. Why am I not? And then I just sort of figured it out. Like, it's not produced as an ensemble show. And they've got such an incredible cast. So I think that's what I struggle with the most. Is the fact that it's not an ensemble show. And I want it to be. I really want it to be.
Yeah.
So, and that was reinforced by the scene. I know that Sonequa was in Brazil for the conference, for the Comic-Con, and they, so it makes sense to have a Sonequa scene. But the problem is that, and I do love her as an actress. I think she's very talented. I think, I just think that, it's just more of the same of like, I just want to see more of the other characters. I really do.
Right.
It's the opposite problem that we had with Deep Space Nine.
Right.
We have all these characters, but we're just not developing them. We're not building stories around them. we're instead focusing on one character and everyone else is sort of supporting that character's journey. And I struggle with that. And it's, I want more. And I think that the main thing is, as a gay man who watches this show, I think I would obviously love to see just more Paul Stamets and Culber, so Dr. Culber. And, that's an important thing. I think Adira and Gray bring a nice ring to it. I love all of the Bridge crew. I want them to have more of a part in this. I think Saru and Doug Jones is fantastic. I miss Mary Wiseman. Like, what has happened to Mary Wiseman?
I think, she seemed to have her own thing going on.
Yeah.
Like a real world thing.
Yeah, exactly. But I just want those people to be more a part of it.
Right.
I want the crew to be more a part of it. I don't, the Admiral's nice, he's a great actor. I don't need the drama with the Federation president. Like, I just don't need that, although I love the romance between Saru and the Vulcan president, or the Navarre president.
Yes.
I like that kind of interesting. That's a new and interesting dynamic. But I just wish there was more of that. And so I feel like it's gonna wrap, and I'm gonna still feel underwhelmed by I just have this feeling that I'm just gonna feel underwhelmed by the finale and what it kind of wraps up for the characters that I love.
Yeah.
Which are all of them. So that's sort of what I'm. And I'm sorry, I didn't want to get on a soapbox.
No, it's fine. I've gotten on my Discovery soapbox so many times on this podcast that you're allowed once in a while to step onto your Discovery soapbox.
Well, and I finally, I figured it out. I figured out what was bothering me, and I really dug deep into it.
Have we talked about this before, though?
You and I have talked about this. We've never talked about this on air. We've only talked about this.
I mean, we definitely complain about how ridiculous it is when people.
Oh, we've talked about pieces of this.
Exposition.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
emergency. And
yes.
Time.
Yes, we've talked about that. That is for sure. But I think
it's all part of the problem. It's symptomatic of the larger issue.
Yeah, these are all we've talked about the symptoms. I'm telling you what the disease is, and the disease is just not an ensemble. It's not an ensemble show.
Well, I mean, part of the issue as well, though, is that, and I think that this is, at the end of the day, you don't need to talk about Discovery. I do not need to get on my Discovery soapbox.
Yeah, right.
I don't think it's a good show. Which is, that's a lot to say, but I think fundamentally, they've done serialized dramas poorly. Like, as I think they are like, this needs to be serialized because that's what all the new shows are doing back in 2016, 2017. So we need to do this. Yep. And the best way to serialize this is to focus it on one character. And then it just kind of became the Michael Burnham show, I think, unfortunately. And I think that the way that they decided to serialize it was to kind of make one person the hero, which can work. But, I think that in this case, I think that, unfortunately, I don't think they pull off very well. I think that Picard, if we want to talk about Picard, season 1 and 2, I think had a lot of ups and downs, obviously. I think why season 3 was so strong as a serialized story is because everyone got a chance to shine. You kind of spread the wealth a little bit. It wasn't, even though it was called Star Trek Picard, it wasn't just about Picard. And I think that that's what made it great. And season 1 and 2, on the other hand, I think had a lot of fumbles because you kind of had to keep on going. Everything had to tie back to Picard and his journey. And it's hard to do that. It's hard to do that well, unless I think at least Patrick Stewart has a lot of cred, and the character of Picard has that legacy. So he has more going for him. But it's a lot to put the whole show on one person's characters and also be like, we need to tell the serialized story that needs to take place over 10, 13 episodes, and it's a mystery box show. So I don't know. I agree with your points. I'm hoping, honestly, though,
I think that is the point, though, that the magic box thing
Mystery box.
and the
Mystery box.
hero, the singular, what is it called?
Mystery box. Yeah, give
mystery
it
box. The mystery box. The mystery box thing and the...
Is that your dog being disruptive?
Yes, he's been sleeping all day long, and he decides that every time I get on a podcast, he needs to chew his bone. Every time. So yeah, I think that's the thing. They stuck with the formula of a single hero and serialized storytelling with a mystery box formula. And they just like repeated it over and over again and like raised the stakes up another level or 10 every season instead of really just saying, is this working? Why don't we change it up and do something different?
Right. Maybe next season will be better because I heard that they want it to be more episodic, actually. So maybe there'll be more of a chance to. You're like, no.
I'm shaking my head like, no. I think someone, that's whoever said that or wherever you heard that is, no.
I think Michelle Paradise said it. I think in an interview.
I bet she did. Because, Anyway. All right. Enough about Discovery. Anything? All right. Let's talk really quickly. 2024.
What we are looking forward to.
What?
What we're looking forward to. Yes. I got you onto Discovery Soapbox. I specifically...
You did. And I did not want to go there. And you gave me the opening, and here we are. I'll tell you one thing that I'm looking forward to. I am looking forward to season 5 of Lower Decks, but I also am looking forward to David Mack. I believe it's David Mack is writing a Star Trek Picard novel called Firewall, all about 7 of 9. I'm actually looking forward to that. There has been a dearth of kind of Star Trek media beyond TV, which I think is challenging because I love that stuff, and especially when they turn it into audiobooks, I love that. It makes it much more accessible for me. So, but I am looking forward to this one. So those are my 2 things that I'm looking forward to. I don't think we're going to get Strange New Worlds in season 3 next month.
Next year.
Yes, next year. And
did you just kick your dog? What'd you do?
I distracted him, yes. So he would leave the freaking bone alone. I'd rather have him on my lap being needy that way rather than chewing on a bone being distracting the whole last 10 minutes of this episode.
Isn't there still that that Con audio spinoff, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, which we haven't heard anything about.
We have not heard anything about that. Yeah. I am not holding my breath. I don't know if that's going to happen, but
I don't know that it's. So I listened to. Remember, I did listen to. I think you listened to it too. The 1 hour, 90-minute Rafi 7 audiobook that they did. Oh, you didn't listen to it. I thought that was pretty good. I'd have to listen to it again. I don't know. It's just, I don't know how doing that Con thing is going to play out in that. But I don't know. It's, it's another one of those projects that they've talked about that have just poof, disappeared. Kind of like Section 31 did for 5 years. So,
or the next Calvin movie.
Oh, the next one. Yes.
Lols.
Yes.
Lols.
So anything else you're looking forward? Anything you're specifically looking forward to in 2024?
I don't know. I feel that to your point, I feel 2023 was just such a good year. I just don't. I'm sure in the next season, maybe we'll get something at the end of 2024 when it comes to Strange New Worlds season 3. Maybe not. I'm sure next season will also be good, hopefully. But I feel we don't have something like a Picard season 3 to look forward to. You know,
Yeah,
we knew that going in 2023, Picard season 3 was going to be a thing. We knew it was going to be
whole cast
a real,
was coming back.
right? Everyone's coming back. We're all getting really. I just don't feel that we have that. I don't feel we have a tentpole like that to look forward to.
Yeah.
Hopefully we will be surprised and delighted by Prodigy season 2.
Yep.
You know,
I'm looking forward to that too. I want Prodigy season 2 to be phenomenal, obviously, as well. Yeah. But we have no news on that. We have
a Picard season 3 like object to really look forward to. You know what I mean?
Yep. No, you're right.
Yeah. It's certainly not Discovery season 5. Discovery season 5 is not that for me. So yeah, I think that's a thing. That's a thing. If I had to kind of like compare 2024 to 2023 between it being an election year and not having Picard season 3 to look forward to, it's like, all right, well, here we are. You know,
right? Yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
So we'll have to see. I think we're gonna look back at 2023 as being one of those banner years in Star Trek history. So
it might be hard. I mean, by next year, I'll be like, wait, what was 2023 again? Because apparently I thought that Discovery was also earlier this year. So I have no idea. I mean, I'll have to somehow like fuse it into my memory that 2023 was when all these things happened.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So.
Yep, for sure. Well, there we go. There's our recap of 2023 and what we're looking for into 2024.
And maybe we will also record more frequently. I doubt it. Or regularly.
I don't foresee life getting any less busy, but maybe. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah.
I'll be like, hey, Mike, what do you want to record? Crickets. Like, just kidding.
It's been tough to like come up with the energy and the time to do this
because always tired.
Tired. I mean we are always tired. Yeah, always tired and
standard operating procedure.
Basically. Yeah. So, yep. But there we go. There's our recap and what we're looking forward to in 2024.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell our listeners how they can share with us what they're looking forward to?
Yeah. We would love to hear from all of you. You can reach us on Twitter/X and Instagram at Deep Space Pride. And you can also email us at deepspacepride@gmail.com. Yeah, let us know what you're looking forward to. Let us know what really stood out to you in 2023. And let us know if you want us to record more regularly. Or whatever. or you might be like, whatever. Guys, you can record whenever. I don't care. There are plenty of other podcasts. I'm going to listen to Delta Flyers. Whatever.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And Mike, do you have anything to say about our sponsor? Do we still have a sponsor?
Yeah, of course. Okay. Fansets is the premier sponsor of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network, and we want to thank them for sponsoring us and all of the podcasts on the Trek Geeks Podcast Network. Head on over to fansets.com, put a bunch of pins in your basket. So I was just checking because I haven't been there in a while for new releases. And they have some more Future Imperfect, which was the Warp episode, right?
No, the Riker episode.
The Riker episode?
Parallels. Riker was the one where it was like a...
Future Imperfect was the entity, right? That
there was like a young alien. Young alien needed a father figure in his life.
Thank you for reminding me of that. Yes. So they do have some new Ensign Delta magnets and pins from Future Imperfect. So they have that. They have my least favorite character from Lower Decks, which is Badgie.
I was like, Flonic? I was like, who?
But no.
No, is it? No, Badgie is not your least favorite character. It's Peanut Hamper. Yeah.
Hamper. I mean, they're pretty close. They're pretty close. There's a Twisted Badgie licensed fansets pin there, as well as a bunch more, including all a bunch from Star Trek Picard, including the Admiral's Delta, and also the Borg Slayer. What am I? What is going on? Slayer. The Borg Slayer.
All right.
Delta as well. So head on over to Fansets, put a bunch of pins. They have more than just Star Trek, right? They have, a ton of other fan favorites. So head on over to fansets.com, put a bunch of pins in your cart. If you spend more than $30, you're going to get free shipping in the US. And if you use the code TrekGeeks, all one word, you're going to get 10% off your order. And we want to thank Fansets for being the premier sponsor of Deep Space Pride and the Trek Geeks Podcast Network.
Thanks, Vincent. All right. Another
there we have
episode
it.
in the
Our
can.
final episode of 2023. I almost
Hopefully
said
we
2024.
can publish it. Hopefully we can publish it before the end of 2023.
Yes. Yep. Yes.
Yes.
This is the thing. Yes, you're off. You're gonna write the notes, and
yes,
I am going to edit out a few bits and then put it all together.
Can you edit out your dog like the whole time, like for that entire
sure. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about that. Him biting that bone every time.
So distracting.
Yes, I know. Yes. No, it's just right on brand for my life. Yep, right on brand. Sleeps all day, and then I get on a podcast, and it's time to
now he's
chew the bone, and now he has a squeaky toy. So yeah, this is
nice right now. Nice.
Great times. But yes. Well, thanks everybody for listening, and we will talk to you again in 2024.
Will we? We'll see what happens.
Will we? Yes, we will. Of course we will.
Okay, and between your phone going off and your dog, this is over.
Yeah, it's over.
This is the worst.
Yes. Well, if we had a real audio engineer who could pull all this stuff out, it would be great. But
that's a lot to edit. I don't know.
Yeah.
What are we?
I'm saying we don't have that, so we're just going to have to live with it. This is real life, folks.
Okay. All right. Well, bye, everyone. Have a good New Year.
Yeah. Happy New Year, everyone. And we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Deep Space Pride is a production of Coconut Media Works. Executive producers Bill Smith and Dan Davidson. For more great Star Trek discussion, discover the other shows of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network at trekgeeks.com or find us in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app.
Coconut.